Hello, everybody. Welcome. Rosa Psych Investigator. Hello, huh. Everybody, welcome. Rosa Psych Investigator. So, guys, today is Monday, September 29th at about 3:20 p.m. Eastern time of recording. And thank you for watching. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and press like. I have to say this, it's funny. So I wanted to also tell you the reason, I've been absent, and do not worry. It's just that I've come across a lot of interesting financial information, and I have to do this research, and it's really complicated, and it explains a lot of what's going on in the financial markets, a lot of the bubble. It's these complicated technical trades. It's beyond the scope of this channel, basically, but that's what I've been doing. And it's sometimes the energy, and it's like I was really excited about it Saturday or Sunday. I don't remember. It was a blur, and I didn't sleep that much. But it's like we have each in our own way. We have the power to fight and to push for truth, because I feel like truth is the ultimate uh, qualifier, right? So you have to press for truth, expose the truth as much as you can, because there's a lot going on. There's a lot. You start to realize why all these business people are like Trump, because there's a level of corruption going on that is really unprecedented, and it has affected the financial markets as well. Although this is not, it's not unique to Trump necessarily, because it was happening kind of during the Biden administration. Like, this is a long, but to be honest, guys, I've noticed that this level of stock manipulation started about in 2017 or 2018, right when Tesla went from $20 to whatever, and there's so much stock market manipulation that creates this. So it's really interesting. But anyway, so I'm gonna probably start an anonymous channel to share this information, because it's a little more dangerous. But it's good. Like I said, we all have to do our part with what we can, and hold on to the light and pray, really. So, okay, so having said that, let's get started with the focus of this channel. So yesterday, it was like, it's like what happens to me, it's like I get so, when I find something that is really relevant, I get just like kind of like buzzing, and it's hard. So I have to, that's why I didn't do the video, because it started to get late. But anyway, so let's talk about everything that's going on. Okay. All right. So, hold on, let me share the background. So here we are. And Trump plans to attend Hexat's meeting with generals, Admiral's source says. So I had looked into it last time, and I had seen that it would not. I went into detail, right? That it would not go very well, but it feels like there is something there. Okay, there's more to look at. But actually, you know what? Before I look into this directly, I want to show you some of I asked these questions using this oracle I find really interesting. Okay, so question using the oracle of Rama: what will happen at the generals meeting now that Trump said he will attend? Answer 263. Go to the sacred site of Chitrakuta. You will receive the blessings of Sita and Rama and gain much for little effort. This indication destroys all sorrow. Divine grace and devotion are available and can overcome all sorrow, but we have to make the effort to get this. Then all will be well. An important place of pilgrimage or retreat is available to help us along the way. So it's interesting, because it doesn't, even though it doesn't say much, I thought it was interesting that it uses the word retreat or even pilgrimage. So, yeah, because when you read these things, you have to kind of read it as, right, it's really short. So when you think of an important place of pilgrimage or retreat is available to help. So the fact that they have to go into some sort of retreat meeting, right? It's this place in Virginia, and so it suggests that there's help available at that place. Doesn't make sense, even though it's not direct, but there's more interesting questions. So the other Question using the Oracle of Rama. What will the generals do at the meeting? Answer 474. Ahodhya's lord, King Dasharatha, went to Mithila with his courtiers. When the message came that Rama had broken the bow, two kings, Dasharatha and Janaka, met and exchanged warmest greetings. The sign means good news and the fulfillment of your aim. Good news comes that a great accomplishment has been gained through our friends and associates in a foreign land. This leads to new alliances, rejoicing, and travel to participate in the festivities. We should welcome the new event and proceed along our way. So, again, here in this one, what was really interesting is the mention of foreign land. So, a great accomplishment has been gained through our friends in a foreign land. So, to me, and actually, I talked to Kathy from Australia, Kathy, professional Aquarian, and she said we were talking about this military energy. And we kind of wondered if it's, I wondered, is it a situation? Could it be that NATO somehow does something while, because I thought it would be perfect if NATO did something with Russia while this meeting was happening. And Kathy also brought up the fact that it's not as if, don't you think that these generals will have talked to each other? Of course they will, right? I don't think they'd be like, oh, Trump meeting sounds so normal. No, I mean, they must, aren't they repaired or something? I don't say, like, I don't think they're that dumb. But, and then I was thinking this, right? This energy of the military, this energy of this, like, so there's full moon in Mars, like, because I watched Kathy's video also, because I find these things really truly fascinating, the astrology sometimes. And I feel this energy very much, this energy of like, because the thing that I'm doing, right? I'm finding these things and I'm reaching out to the people that I did the whistleblowing thing. And I'm like, listen, this is here. I'm not going, I need to finish it. You kind of fight. And I thought, this is what I have. Each person is different. But the military, what do they have? The military, if you think about it, is about action, right? And of course, they have rank and they're dependent. They can just do whatever. But it's the moments, right? And the sky, I guess, that aligns with taking action for something you care about. That's what the video of Kathy said. And that's what I feel, honestly, these things that I'm discovering, they're not just facts, they're things I care about. Like, this has to be exposed. I just have this passion about it. And if you think about this, all of this, what happens when this is applied to the military or somebody who's in the military, high-ranking military officials, right? They're not going to give up. They're not going to just be like, oh, okay, sure, see you later. It's not going to be easy. So, okay, all right. So there's just another last one that I thought, the last question here that I thought is really quite interesting. And then we'll go to this question directly here. All right. So, hold on. Will the military remove Trump from power? Death hovered in the skies for Ravana. Death's kingdom was prepared for him, along with his armies. Confused by his evil karma, he ignored his destruction. Even with 20 eyes, he did not see. There is a great calamity approaching powerful people who are blinded by their own arrogance. Though they think that they see and have abundant resources in order to do so, they are missing the truth. This verse is a warning to be humble and desist from willful or forceful ventures. Our vision should not be trusted at this point. We must be mindful of the dangers that approach through rash or wrathful action. Okay, so that's interesting, right? So that's why we'll consider who's rather arrogant here, right? So now let's go to here. So Trump plans to attend the meeting with generals, admirals, source set. So now that Trump is planning to, what happened here? Oh, I pressed a different thing. Oh yeah. So now that Trump is planning to attend this meeting, what is it going to be like? Because again, when I looked at it before, there was no mention of Trump being there. So now that he's going to be there, what is going to happen? So I still feel like I see Trump like being kind of like even more clown-like than before because he's afraid of the military. And by the way, the next time I do a video, I'm going to talk about the Terrence Goggin, the Substack. He talks about the military a lot, but I feel like Trump makes some comment about. I do think he talks about Russia. He really wants ultimately the U.S. to work for Russia, and it does not sit well, whatever it is that he says at the meeting. Now, there's a possibility that he could try to fire people at the meeting, but the fact that he has said certain things in terms of like the country, right? He said he may say something like about attacking allies and wanting the U.S. to get into some either like Venezuela, which is irrelevant. Let's just be honest, right? If we want, is Venezuela really doing something in the world right now? No. Who's messing everybody up? Whatever. So I think he may want to either do something like these useless distraction attacks or ultimately really push the military to go defend Russia. Okay, no matter what he says, I don't believe anything he says to the public. Oh no, we love Ukraine, whatever, right? So really, what happens is that then I see that the generals could say he wanted us to do something illegal, like to to not, and it's saying it's not like for example Vietnam or something where you were forced to do some sort of like something that goes against human rights, something like that. No, it's like the order we have to ultimately serve. It's a bigger thing. Like you have to serve the Constitution. If we feel like this is not legal in that, so what is it? Legal? That's right. If you're harming, it's like our job is to defend enemies, foreign and domestic. So okay, so that's the story, right? That's your job. So we can't not do that. All right. So okay. So and as I was talking to Kathy today earlier over text, it really it brings up the question, right? Is he going to be removed? And I know ever since I went to the Kamala events, I really started thinking that we just take one day at a time, and that in some ways it's about we know. I think the truth is he's going to leave. I mean, no matter what, right? He's going to leave. This is real. I don't want to get too like does it make sense? I don't want to be like, oh my god, I'm at like that feeling, right? I just don't see how we can continue as a country like this. And also, guys, the things I was telling about, the things I've discovered, like this like weird financial shenanigans, like trading patterns and such. It's almost as if the people who are designing it know, or they either want everything to come crashing down because the way that these trades are designed, it's like it's a called a death spiral. Like it will collapse if everything keeps going like this. And we have already seen an auto part manufacturer go bankrupt quickly. So, but they had shady accounting, to be honest, according to the reports. But does it make sense what I'm saying? Clearly, at some point, and I think at some point very soon, that's what I was telling you. I have this feeling that all of this about what's going on in the stock market is coming out. And I remember, it's interesting. And I remember that Pam Gregory, she had said, "Oh, something about financial," and I was like, "Oh, is that like?" I didn't. She said something like about finances related to technology, and I was like, "Oh, she's like, oh, is it crypto?" Now I get it, what it is, because I feel like I've seen it. That's what I'm saying. So I'm excited. It's coming out because if I this makes sense. If I can see it, then I can. Other people will be able to see it. And the thing about the stock market is like once something like that comes out, then it rattles the markets, and and they can't. Does it make sense? It start and once something like this happens, then they have to stop. Does it make sense? Even though I think, like I said, they want a destructive path. But I also think that at this stage, it might be a little early for them to just destroy like everything like that. That's what they want, I think, right? It's pretty clear. But it's like engineered. That's what I'm telling you. It's from this. It's very destructive what they're promoting, essentially, right? So it's connected. Does it make sense what I'm saying? So in some ways, I feel like Trump leaving, and I still feel like the military is the option. I don't. That's what I see. Okay, of him being removed, but I also see that the unraveling of the financial uh, engineering, let's just say it like that, in the stock market, could definitely connected to Trump and his people and Peter Thiel and those kinds of people. Then it will like make it it will make it happen faster. Does it make sense? So just all of this to just say that like there's a lot of things going on, and if that's what I tell myself, like if it doesn't happen tomorrow, like it's on the way. Doesn't make sense. Things are in motion, and like I said, I just have this like strong feeling, guys. Even though I don't, I'm like I said, I'm really tired because I barely slept, and it's not like I'm like they're all so happy, but we're getting closer. I just feel it because there's so much chaos underpinning all of this, and once it's exposed, then right? Then it's like the truth of what is really happening is comes out, and we know how like because I guess I could tell you it's okay if I say this. Sorry, I won't give. It's okay. I think it's broad enough. But you know how have you noticed how the stock market keeps going up when we know the reality is very different, right? But it's because of this financial engineering that it's almost it's designed to make the stocks go up almost automatically. I mean, there's people involved, there's also automation involved, but it's not normal. Does it make sense? It's not organic. Okay. And this is what he's like, oh, look at my stock market. It's so great. And you know, the other thing it just does because it relates to what I'm researching. Have you noticed how Trump makes these announcements of the tariffs? All of this drives volatility in the markets. And that's how a lot of very technical trading happens when there's volatility. A lot of people make money, but not the little, the people that are like, oh, meme stock people. No, those people are the fools. They're like buying to the lottery mindset. It's the really smart people, the ones that are really good at math. And by the way, Russians have historically always been involved in those somewhat similar scams like this, but also have always really been good at math. So I'm not saying it's them only or them necessarily, but it's a form of financial engineering again, like that takes advantage of this, and it's very opaque. It's something that is not available to retail people, like a random person who trades stocks. You need to have institutional access rights in order to get into these things. So this makes sense. It's saying, but once it collapses, then it's like it starts to look inevitable. Okay, so that's the story. And again, weirdly, I do think it connects to this military thing because it's not just one thing. And of course, we have the Epstein thing, but I think the other Epstein issue that gets talked about a lot less is the financial part. And I've said this many times because Epstein is also involved with Russia, right? So, so, so it's probably connected too. But I think anyway, it's all about this that the underworld coming out. Okay, so that's what I feel it. I feel it coming out. And I know, again, I don't, I'm not an astrologer, but I know about the whole Pluto thing, right? And how it relates to the underworld and the corruption and also the deepest secrets. So that's what it feels like. It's here, guys. I feel it, and it's not going to go away. They are not going to be able to put it back in the bottle, whatever that is. Okay, okay. Now let's see what's going to happen after the meeting. Okay, so what will happen immediately after the meeting? What will be the outcome of this meeting? I say, oh yeah, yeah, it's great. It's really like that's what I want. That's what I like. He's just sort of performing. He's really performative in that meeting. He's afraid of them, and I just see that when they leave, there, all of them are like, "We know what you're about. We got your number." So, are they? I think he's afraid to fire them. I don't feel like. I feel like there's an impasse. Okay, so could he be? Is that the place? I feel like, because I say again, guys, the ultimate goal is to help Russia with the military, with the Ukraine war, and they know it. And it's just a very awkward situation. And there's an impasse, and he may retreat this whole thing. I think he becomes afraid of them because I don't care who you are, what kind of comment you are, but then you're in a room with all these high-end military people who have been in serious battles, people have sacrificed a lot. Do you think they'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm scared of him? No, I don't think they're gonna care about you. And I see the soldiers like, no, and they're like, watch, and they're saying the Revolutionary War people. They're watching. Where is he? So, okay, let me ask actually the Revolutionary War people, what's going on? What do you think is going to happen? Knock him out. Okay. It's interesting. You know what I see, that they may get Hegseth out first, and then kind of, it's interesting. I feel like they start to take back everything. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, guys, basically, okay? Because Trump starts to get scared. Like, not, in public or anything. He's like, I feel like he's like, has this like recognition that something could happen to him right at that moment. He's basically a spy, right? Like all this time he's pretending to be somebody he's not, and he's working for another country. So he has to play both sides in a way. But at this stage, when there's a war going on, like treasonous, you know what I mean? So, okay. Now I have another question. So what will Trump say after the meeting? Oh, he seems hesitant and afraid, I feel like. And I see that JD Vance, is he going to be at the meeting? I don't remember. But he is surprised because the plan was different and what actually happened was something else. Okay. And then, so what happens next? Yeah, I think that's right. Things start moving in the direction they know is not going in their favor. So it's a Rosie trusted. We can't give you details. We don't know exactly the right. I don't honestly, do I think it's gonna be tomorrow? Probably not immediately like that. No. But it really puts, like, it's like it reminds me, I talked about this before when I met up with the nephew of my stepdad, who was really shady. I felt it from him before, with the texting and phone. But when I saw him in person, that's when you get that real, like, wow, like, what? What do you think you're gonna get out of gonna get away with this? No. So, does it make sense? There's like a restructuring, or Trump changes his tone a little bit because he knows he's either been caught or is about to be caught. And I see that JD Vance, especially, and his people are pretty scared because in their minds, people are malleable like that. So, okay, so it's not how it works. All right, so let's continue. So this topic is interesting. I want to share. Hold on, stop share. Oh, did I? Yeah, I guess it's up correctly. It was correct. I just got a little confused. So basically, somebody, CC, sent me this information. I think it's CC. And okay, hold on. That's right. Okay. So I collected several of her. I did a little bit of my own research, I think, for one of them. But she provided the links, and I did a little bit of research. But thank you so much. I would not I didn't lately have had a chance to look into this with as much detail. So it's I don't even know how to start, guys. The first time she sent me, I think, was it Saturday, Sunday? Now I don't even know what time it is. I don't know. I think it was Sunday because I prepared for this on Sunday or yesterday. So the election they were still counting the votes. They were still happening, or it was happening, something like that. And this is what she said, that here on top right, Moldovan police carried hundreds of raids to, let's see if I can have a little pencil thing. Okay. Okay. Oh, this is not successful. Sorry about that. Okay, so here it is. They carried out hundreds of raids to counter suspected Russian interference campaigns before. This is what. Let's see. Let me just make it bigger here. Okay. Hundreds of raids to counter suspected Russian interference campaigns before polls opened in Sunday's critical legislative vote. False bomb threats briefly halted overseas voting for expatriate Moldovans. Russia may be planning violent protests after the Moldovan elections. Russia has breakaway regions in the countries Ukraine, Georgia, and Moldova. Will Georgia be next? Will Moldova finally be allowed to join the EU and asked to join NATO? Okay, so you see how what is shocking, guys, other than oh no, sorry, then what we're reading here is that it resembles what happened in the US so much, right? So then it turns out that, and what I'm talking about, the reason, like what I said here, is related to the bomb threats, right? And like just like what happened here, and then also I didn't get the link for this, but there was an app that is fairly popular in Europe called Telegram. I never touch it because it's Russian. Me no touch a Russia app. No. Sometimes people like, no, I don't have Telegram. Never will have Telegram. Me no touch a Russia. Me no touch a Russia app. Me no touch a Russia. No, because it's not fully encrypted. So they imagine feel like they have my conversations. I don't know. They can access, right? So that's what it means. They are like they can monitor people and such. Okay. So here it is. So guys, false bomb threats, cyber attacks, cloud. See? So let me share this one. It's like, so let me go to this one of the other thing. False bomb threats, cyber attacks, and election day. The overseas voting in several EU cities on Sunday, according to Moldova's foreign minister. And it's like, come on, the MO is exactly the same. And it's really, and guys, places like Romania, Moldova, like they do it. They can do it. They could fight it back, but we can't. We fell. Like it makes me so angry still. The election was not this, I was saying before about Kamala. I actually said it's going to be after this, but people tell me like, oh, Kamala doesn't want to. Let's not get started on this because she won. That's the bottom line. We have to get to the point where the truth about the election needs to come out, and then she or not, there's whoever makes decisions. That's not the time, okay? And it's just again preposterous to like. I feel like she was stolen. She was like it was taken from her twice. First when she won, and now it's like, oh, people seem to want to speak. Like imagine what she's been through. I don't know, guys. As you know how I'm not gonna go back to how I feel about this whole thing. Okay. Anyway, going back here, Moldova had the same thing. The same thing happened. That happened to her. They fought back. Is it? It's interesting because I hadn't. Guys, it's honestly for me sometimes it's hard because like I said, I feel like there's tipping points happening, but we're still not there. And the core, guys, the core thing is removing Trump and the two things. Because if the truth about the election doesn't come out, even if he's removed, then there's always going to be a cloud of suspicion. When in fact, right? So, are we going? Let's say this: Are we going to see the truth about the election, this one election, come out? I don't know. Timing again. Is this so? Is it going to come out? The Scooby Doo thing where he lives the thing, and it's like it's your face of Putin. Yes. How close? Yeah, guys, I don't know. Honestly, the details it does not shows me the face of Trump being apprehended, shows NATO. I think it's at this point, there's so much going on. It's impossible to know exactly what will happen. But that's the key, right? And so let me ask maybe a slightly different question. Spirit, is it fair for me to because I'm not giving it up. I am not going to be like, oh, okay, well, is it gonna it's the most important thing because it's the biggest crime of all is the fact that he stole the election, period. Other than he's a horrible president and a traitor, he stole the election. That is the gravest, awfulest thing. So what's going to happen here? Okay. Are we gonna? Can I hold on, Spirit, to this? Because I'm not giving it up. I want the truth to come out. Okay, so it does show me that again, this military event situation, and then after that, maybe again, it's all. It seems we have never seen anything like this. So, but it shows me the military first, moving on it, all right, doing something about it. And it's sad because remember with Romania, they didn't know the guy, that remember the first one, they thought he was close. That's it. There were no, it's like, just get it done. It works, right? Romania, Moldova, they do it. Why can't we do it, right? Because I bought it. So, okay. So, all right. So that's this part. Okay. So sorry, my rant about the election. So God, give me a sign. Please tell me something about the election. Are you gonna? It's gonna come out. I'm sorry. I'm not giving. I'm repeating it again. What? Pray. Have faith. That's right. See it. Thank you, God. Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, it's gonna come out. Yes. And it's saying, it's interesting. It's telling me the thing that I'm doing now, that it seems a little crazy and whatnot. I say, Rosa, that seems a little crazy, right? That you're doing this, you're pushing this, but you believe it. That's why you're passionate about it. You believe it. It's true, and you getting the documents together to make this presentation to show the scams. But like, so you do it because you believe it's important. So you could, does it make sense? It's like you have the information, you see it, it's important, it's coming out. So it's gonna come out at some point. The same way it's saying about the election. Don't let it, like, don't listen to the naysayers. Don't, just keep the faith and keep spreading the facts. And it shows me the more said she won. I didn't yell because I didn't, guys. I didn't want to be that person. I was like, the heckler or something. But I said I was close to the stage. I said she won, right? And she won, and he stole it from her. But and she had this little, like, she know we're not crazy. I know, guys. Somebody sent me an article. It's really infuriating. It's a lot of those. It's a liberal New York magazine is like, I'm technically right, a liberal, but it's like making fun of us. It's called Blue Lulu. So they interview people at the Kamala Harris thing, and they were like, and they said that they were sort of mocking the people there because they believe the election was stolen, and I believe it 100%. And it's funny, like, I was when Rabia and I were walking back, and she said, it was nice because we could talk about this because in the world people mock us. I can talk about it, like, because they think it's like QAnon or something. No, it's the truth. So are we gonna be? Yes, but it's saying, guys, the U.S. That's the other thing to remember. That has been the election situation, and it reminds guys. Remember the helicopter pilot? I think Michael, his name was. That I talked to him one time. Maybe I should ask him. Okay, okay, okay. So let's see. Let's see. I don't, guys. I have to look him up again. I don't remember. I think it's Michael because he was the remember the one who died in the helicopter accident. Here it is. Mike O'Connell, Republican IT guru, dies in plane crash. So I'm going to share this with you because I'm sure if you follow this channel, you may have seen this before. I remember it was one of those really pretty interesting, pretty interesting, like uh, talking to people from business side. Okay, so Mike O'Connell of Akron, Ohio, died on Friday when his plane crashed near a vacant house in Uniontown while attempting to land at a nearby Akron Canton airport. So Mike O'Connell, okay, Let's see here. So just a refresher, guys, if you haven't watched that, you can look him up. Okay. He was a very close to what's the name of the guy from Texas that did the Bush elections? I see his face. Let's see here. Um, okay, that's right. He was a key media consultant who developed internet strategies for the Bush Cheney campaigns. So anyway, so he died in very mysterious circumstances. But and would think it's all related to the election. What the irregularities in Ohio were existed then, even according to a lot of people, they don't believe that election. That's why I think J.D. Vance won because they manipulate the elections, and that was essentially the ground zero for this whole election stealing through internet. Okay. Anyway, go back. Michael Connell, what can you tell us about the election? The truth about the election? When is it going to come out? I'm sorry to have to bother you, Michael, but I'm still regretting it, Rosie. What I did. Tell me, Michael. I'm gonna tell you. Damn it! So angry at them. I was gonna. My wife was married. I don't know. My wife was waiting for me. He said something like that. I knew there was something off. I refused to believe it. I wanted to keep going. Then I'm like, I'm actually asking him, am I in danger? Because I told you what I'm doing. No, he's like, no. You have public information, Rosie. Like that's anybody could see that. It's not like me. So okay, so tell me more. What is going to happen? It's saying they're going to have the courage. That's why it's saying it's hard. Wow, you know what? He's saying something else that's really interesting, actually, that I think has come up before that I don't talk about often, but he's saying Putin has the truth about what has happened to all the elections. He knows that elections were stolen before. And he knows that if it comes out about this one, the other ones are going to have to come out as well. And that's, I think, what prevents some things, at least on the GOP side, right? Prevents them from wanting to talk about it. And it's like, again, as a woman, honestly, I don't get it. I just think let's just deal with it, right? Whatever it is, just do, because what we're living is really far worse than like blackmail or whatever. Okay, I mean, but men care. They're not, when you need courage, I'm sorry, stuff like this, you need a woman because they're just like, oh, I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to I want to be friends with everybody or whatever. So anyway, so let's go back here. So what about the election? So he's saying that they have to come to this is he's saying almost like saying that it's the US karma kind of is that there's a lot of elections that were stolen, a lot of different things that they've known about and nobody has gone there because they're saying they threaten people, they threaten them with lawsuits, they silence them, they like, but somebody has to have courage. And it shows me Jasmine Crockett. Actually, I love Jasmine. She doesn't have fear like that. So, but is it going to come out and it's saying the military? That's right. It's saying that there's going to be a commission. You know how they have it in like human rights and like they had in South Africa, Truth Commission about the elections. Because I don't honestly, we have to look at it all. Because until then, that's right. Until we do that, nothing is going to change. Because saying that's the GOP's business is to steal elections, is to right. So that's why they're not going to want it at all. All right. So, but how are we going to get out of this quagmire, Michael? Is it going to come out? It's saying maybe, he thinks that there's at least this one. It's saying, oh, that makes sense. If NATO reveals it, that doesn't make sense. And I saw there was a reference to to what, like in one of the Oracle answers, it said foreign friends have made a great accomplishment. If it's revealed outside of the US, then does it make sense? There's like something that feels less less of a weight or something. Okay, so and it's so and I see coordination between our military, I mean, obviously, right, and NATO, and there's something there. I think there could be something in the works, yes. So we just, it's saying, he's saying pray because, what I get it from him even that it's like a bunch of possibilities, right? I can see he's showing me them going on this path, but the fear, guys, as you know, I'm dealing with this thing, this information that I get on this whistleblower thing. I'm just so shocked sometimes at how cowardly men are. Like they just, it's like you have all this money, why can't you just be honest? And it's like, no, because it, and somebody I talked to, she's older. She explained to me something so wise. She said something like, men care more for them that power is important, meaning being in society, being not just successful, but part of something public. So if they were to be truthful, they would lose that. So for them, they'd rather deal with some corruption or look the other way than do something that would disrupt the power and that could potentially isolate them in some way. So does it make sense for us? No, we are the ones who get screwed over, right? So we fight because that's all we have. Our lives are at stake. Our existence is at stake. So we have to do something. For them, it's like, oh, life is so good over there where they are, or whatever, right? And I'm talking even not just Republicans, sometimes liberal men or whatever. It's they may not see, right, how we are impacted by things, and that's why women fight harder, right? And I think in this case, again, he shows me this, and then if we pray for the light and we affirm these things, and that's why I feel like lately this the idea of that you have to meditate and you see the outcome you want, even for the election, even for everything that we're dealing with. See, affirm it and make in your mind because it gives strength to it. Doesn't make sense. It gives strength to the honestly, I to the weak people. Because how did we get to this point? Because there's just too much weak men, too many weak men out there. I'm sure there's like women here and there that were corrupt also, like Bondi and whatever these other people are, but it's just about protecting the status quo of men, right? Oh no, no, we don't rock the boat, we don't do nothing. So it's when we pray, we affirm what we want and we say it, and it gets momentum going. Does it make sense what I'm saying? So if we pray it and believe it is inevitable, it's going to give more and more momentum, right? Because of course there's a lot. It's so I have a question, Spirit. When we pray for something collective like that, it's easy. It's quote unquote. It's not easy, but it's like you could pray for something for yourself. It's easier to understand. But when something is collective, that there are so many players involved, how can we pray successfully for it? It's saying, ask God. You can ask yourself, God, is this the truth? Is this for the greater good? And you say yes, then you pray for it. You confirm this is for the greater good, yes. And that is saying you can, this is how you, oh, this is faith in practice. This is the truth. This is a good, and you affirm it to be true. You don't say, oh, but such and such said on Facebook that this is like that. They're gonna react. No, you take this is how you take your power. You affirm it to be truthful, and you affirm it that is going to happen. And then so it's I see the voice coming up again because she has this incredible power in person. Honestly, you just feel it from her. It's possible. Everything is possible, and it's going to happen. So you don't get contaminated by trash's vibrations. Okay. So that's right. So he's like, yeah, no, that's right, Rosie. Affirm it to be pray. Pray a lot this times because we need them as much as possible. And then we can flip things. And also in your local communities, as much as you can, whichever way everybody's different, do your thing. Put pressure on these men, make them feel uncomfortable. Some women, but isn't that what I'm saying? So because we're not giving up, we're not gonna roll over. Okay. Okay. So all right. So another thing I want to talk about is Larry Ellison and the TikTok deal. So Larry Ellison is the owner of Oracle. That's what he's famous for. Oracle is an enterprise software company that sells databases to enterprises, large enterprises, small enterprises. It's been around forever. And it's funny, actually, so like how the world changes. I know it's not, I can't believe I'm saying this because it's true. It may shock you. I used to love Larry Ellison. I'm serious because I love his personality. I love it. I mean, I was a monster, but even though he was Republican and whatever, he just has this very honest, he's very direct. And I just like that. Like he would not hold punches. It was just, I just enjoyed when he would see him in like these tech conference talks or whatever. He used to be very close to Steve Jobs and they were different politically, but I used to like his personality. It sounds crazy now, but again, and then this. Now, the other thing that Larry Ellison had, he has a lot of really interesting things. Like he used to be interesting, I guess. You know, he used to have a house that was all Japanese. He was obsessed about Japan and had all this like samurai swords or whatever. I love samurai. So he's an interesting cultured person, but he's become this thing. He's 80 something. He's got a lot of plastic surgery. He's has like 20, 30-year-old girlfriends or whatever. Kind of one of them was at our, but anyway, so but he's very wealthy, of course, very, very wealthy. And he is involved. Now, I found this whole AI thing, I'm telling you guys, there's a lot of shady stuff going on related to AI, not just because, and when I talk about it, people are like, oh, but I use ChatGPT. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about numbers. Okay. I'm talking about the bare bones balance sheet situation going on with AI. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. There is fraud, okay, in the accounting related to the public AI companies, period. I can get into this because it's a long story, but the point is, that's what I'm talking about. There's a lot of it's a bubble in the public markets. There are products, yes, but everything is overvalued and there's just a lot of fraud. And it's sort of like crypto in a way. Like a lot of people who were doing crypto, they went into AI because then they could be like pumping these random companies. And it's not open. It's not like OpenAI. It's others, like a lot of other random things. They just say, oh, it's AI, and then there's just a lot of strange transactions. And even the way it's this is too technical. Even the way it's accounted for in the balance sheet, the expenses and how they have these credits and nobody knows how much everything costs. So long story. There's that. So he got involved with AI and Oracle. I'm sorry to say, Oracle. I don't think Oracle is like. He always hated Google. By the way, he sued Google even, and he lost. But I've never thought of it as a very like high end engineering company. Okay, for several reasons. Because a lot of products, when you're an enterprise software company, it's very like it doesn't change very much because once you have these contracts, especially Oracle, right? It's been around forever. It's like almost impossible. Like these companies never leave. They don't go to another company, right? They continue buying it, paying for it. So anyway, so then they get into this AI thing, and I found it so strange because again, Oracle is just not very, I don't know, in my mind, a very a truly engineering driven company. Okay, so a lot of the technical people are not going to work at Oracle. They're just, I guess, offering the computing, like the cloud services. But even then, I find it suspicious. Okay, it's saying okay, it tells me this. No, Rosie, they have all these enterprise contracts, so of course they're doing that. That's their thing. Okay, got it. Just to tell you what's going on. So he's all over this AI. I think the AI bubble part, and he finances all these other very strange things. But then he bought it. Okay, there's a conglomerate that bought TikTok. Now, TikTok, I talked about it the other day. It's worth so much more than what they're paying. Like, I don't know what this is. No, it tells me yes, it will be undone, but it's just very, very corrupt. And then he bought TikTok. And of course, you know what happened in the Trump administration. They hate in the election, they hate the young people. They use TikTok against them. And BB, of all people, was saying that, oh, no, it's great. TikTok is great. Now that Larry Ellison bought it. And Larry Ellison is very close to BB. He's invited BB many times to he owns an island in Hawaii. Larry Ellison is. So he's very close to, like, he loves BB. So, you know, it's very scary. And then Larry Ellison was talking about this like surveillance thing where like, oh, all the cameras are gonna like hyper surveillance society, sort of like how I think China is like this. And it's not like nobody wants to live like that. Let's be real, right? And they think that people are going to comply because in China, you may or may not know about this. They have something called the social score. So if you are late on a bill or whatever, it's like it's not just credit, it's everything. And you are not allowed to go. They prohibit people from doing this. I don't know exactly. It's very surveillance driven place. And I'm not anti-China at all. I'm just saying, okay, because that's the comparison that we have here. But but going back to Larry Ellison, it just seems that he's really into this whole like palantir, right? Surveillance. Oh no, oppressing people into complying. Um, so, and he's not that like he's not going to live that much longer. To be honest, right? It's impossible. And of course the CBS thing, all of that. What's going to happen in the next 10 years to Oracle and Larry Ellison? Because again, this whole thing, I don't think Americans want to live in a society like that. Okay. So what's going to happen? What's going to happen to Larry Ellison's businesses related to the Trump administration, especially the contracts and businesses related to the Trump administration from now, going forward to the next 5, 10 years? Okay. Wow. I see he's ejected because he's very close to Trump, and they're looking through the accounting because it's pretty obvious corruption, bribery, and they're going to cancel the contracts. They're going to undo the thing. But is he going to be? I think they're. I mean, he's going to pass away eventually. I see Oracle might be, but isn't a public company. I think it is. Yes, isn't it? I think it is. It might be sold. I see they got a very different CEO, and they were going to have to redo the whole thing later, be a different company. But I think it'll be successful in a different way without Larry Ellison. But I just feel like it's saying it's gonna. I see these documentaries about saying the downfall of Larry Ellison. That in the last years of like the last decade of his life or something, he got into all these kinds of like shady businesses and he's. But I see it's funny, Gavin. Now he moved to Texas, but I see Gavin Newsom somehow being like, the government's gonna take a lot of it because all of it was corrupt, right? Does it make sense? But I have a question. Am I just being like optimistic that, or is it really gonna leave? Like he's gonna show me that, well, no, he's today going, wow. And then I see that like a iron door is put in the White House, like, they everything is being pat, like it's crime scene. It's a crime scene, the White House. He can't go in, and then everybody who has made deals with them is gonna have to go. But are they not gonna have a permanent art like uh authoritarian government? That's not what they want. Say no, because saying they're ultimately incompetent, and a lot of it's just corrupt. That I see there's kickbacks, there's all these things, and then yeah, that's right. I see that he may be charged and other executives in Oracle or there's bribery scandals. There's like pay to play. It tells me this, Rosie, in order for the US to survive as a country, it absolutely has to go first towards these men that bought the Trump administration, right? Because that's the most, like, the Trump administration wouldn't work if there weren't these people they were doing business with. So that's where you go. Let's see. So what's going to happen to TikTok actually? No. I see China being like, okay, okay, and then the thing is ripped out like this, and then they're gonna have to redo the whole thing. I still feel like TikTok will be big with kids because this that Peter Thiel, of course, was on the board of Facebook, and Facebook has never been able to design any apps that it hadn't bought, like Instagram. They bought Instagram, they bought WhatsApp, but they've never been able to come up with anything themselves because it's just not a great product company, right? So they hate TikTok because it's the competition. That's what the young people want to be. And and so Zuckerberg is happy about this, but I think they're going to retain the magic, even if this makes sense. Even if this happened, it will be undone. I feel like, and then I see the China be like, yeah, like happy, like. And again, it's not that I know there's like some concerns or whatever, but does anybody really believe that that's the reason? I know why. I know why because TikTok helped the progressive younger people. That's why. That's really the reason. It's because they want surveillance and they want to like have a total propaganda society. And I don't think it's going to work. I really don't. So, okay. And it is telling me, Rosie, telling me, Rosie, like Rosie, yeah, keep it's this, keep gathering the documents, the information together, because when this thing comes out, how these financial instruments that the Trump administration and others have helped like hide, a lot of those scams and a lot of the scams that Trump is involved in, right? A lot of it involves the stock market. So once it comes out, all these companies are going to have to pay the price, because I don't feel like this is also the bottom line. I don't think that America wants to be a third world country, because that's what Trump wants. And there was a photograph today. Of course, there was so much going on, but somebody took a picture of Scott Bessent reading a text message from the Secretary of Agriculture, because Scott Bessent, actually, I'm just last comment here. Scott Bessent is doing the Argentina 20 billion bailout thing. And you know what? Like, so one of his best friends, hedge funds, invest in Argentina, and he's gonna help out his friend, because his friend has all these Argentinian bonds, all these things. And it's so gross, right? Especially, I mean, that guy is just a clown, Malay. So, but it's a, you say, okay, they're saying, Rosie, I know it may tire you to say this, but justice is going to come. I know it seems very far away right now, today, but keep the faith and keep that in your thoughts, because really, truly, guys, if it doesn't happen, then this country, I don't know what. Okay, so, okay, I'm just going to put here. So I know to locate it later. But okay, but that's it for now. Okay, I think it's it for now. I've talked about it a lot. And thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, hopefully. Okay, bye, bye. So I'm back. I took a little break, so I wanted to also share with you a videos that I thought I had included in the like when I came back from Kamala, but I didn't. I hadn't. It's a long story, because I put it into this uh, kind of a. So I'm gonna just talk about it. The first one is about her comment about the light, and then the second part is it's at the end. So it's very encouraging, I think. Her energy is great, and I know, guys, some people sometimes leave me comments. Oh, such and such channel said this about her. That I'm not. I don't do what other people said. I know the situation. The book was a little surprising, but but the fact, I still believe it. I believe she won, and nobody could take that. They already stole it from her, and nobody could take it. But really, nobody could take that away from her. And I don't know. I find it so strange, again, the idea that people just, oh, she doesn't want it. Like, no, I don't think. I think we need the truth about the election to come out. Period. And then we think about, have a conversation after that. Okay, really, because that's everything. Without that, nothing can change. So, so that was my a little rant. Should I have a rant now? Huh? So, all right. So this is this part. I'm gonna pause it so you can watch the video. And I think, you know what? I think this is. I'm gonna say goodbye after this, because I'm gonna put the videos at the very end. Okay. All right. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Fingers crossed. All right.